Good morning. I'm Senator Kunesh. I represent District 41. I am the Indigenous representative of our Posse Caucus in the Senate. And I'm thankful for all of you to be here to hear our message and our call for Senator Gazelka to make a priority of these justice issues as part of our legislation. We lost a young man again, and it breaks us all up in so many ways. For the last 20 years, I taught 5 miles from here. Dante represents the students that I taught for 20 years. And when I heard of this, the first thing I did is I looked to see if he was one of my students. Because we know that Dante wasn't just a father to a young man, or a son to a loving mother, or a sibling to his brothers and sisters, but he was a community member. And our job as a legislator is to ensure the security of our communities. That's what we do. And so with that in mind, we are looking at all of those pieces of legislation that we in the House worked all summer long to create good police reform and community-centered reform. And so some of the bills that we are asking Majority Leader Gazelka to make a priority, we can do more than one thing at a time. We can do this legislation and we can review the police reform as well. We would like to see community-centered legislation and reform, so that funding is going into the communities to address the needs of those community members, such as Safe Streets Minnesota, programming for our youth and our families, as well as resources for mental health to address these historic traumas that our African American and Black communities go through all of the time. We want to make sure that those cameras that the police are wearing are on all of the time, and that they are not able to erase or change or edit any of the footage, and that the family and those that need to see that footage immediately have access to it. And we want to make sure that our police officers have their community in mind, and they are looking at all of their community members, which is why we are demanding that no persons with any connections to white supremacy groups are allowed to be in our policing agencies. Our heart is broken along with the rest of them, but our job right now in the legislature is to make sure we are putting in place legislation that addresses the needs of our community. And I ask you all to join us in sending that message to Senator Gazelka.